Welcome to History Nuts. I'm Russ Carson Jr., the founder of Family Tree Nuts. At Family Tree Nuts, we build family trees for people, and we produce videos at historic locations and videos that help to honor your ancestors.
I'm Jameson, founder of the Kentucky History Podcast, where we talk about anything Kentucky history, events, people. If it has to do with Kentucky, we're going to discuss it.
And we've teamed up together to bring you History Nuts.
History Nuts is a live show where we talk about, you guessed it, history.
Right. History seems to be less and less to people today, but we are trying to do everything we can to keep it alive.
Absolutely. History is a passion of ours for sure, but it connects to you. Russ, tell us about the best part of the show.
You can join in. You can comment and ask questions live.
We've got a great topic today, and we know you're going to enjoy this episode of
History Nuts.
And we are live. We are live. What's up, Jameson?
Hey, man. How's it going? You warm?
How's the ice your way, man?
Oh, it's thick and slick.
Thick and slick. All righty.
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that phrase? I never heard that one before, but
thick ice, slick. Sounds
you're
normal.
Talking about the way you like your women, are you? You know,
Easy.
This is a live show, folks. Definitely a live show, and I've never heard thick and slick. But all right. So, welcome to the show. This is different than any other show we've ever done before, isn't it, Jameson?
It is. We are taking a different approach.
What are we going to do different?
Well, we are going to talk about Abraham Lincoln. That's the main thing. But we're actually going to try to talk less. So I don't know how the show is going to go if we talk less. So
That's true. We are going to talk about Abraham Lincoln, that guy that you said that despised, hated, evil Abraham Lincoln, right?
The who? The spies?
Despised. Didn't you say that? All your people
despised.
were great, didn't they? Despised. All your people were great, didn't they?
No, that's all blue, man.
That is all blue. I'm just teasing you. So what's the difference in the show that we're going to do tonight here about Abraham Lincoln?
Well, we kind of talked about Abraham Lincoln, and it is his birthday is coming up. Oh wait, what is today?
Coming up.
It's 11th today.
Tomorrow.
Right? It's tomorrow.
Yeah, 212th birthday on the 12th.
So we kind of talked about talking about Abraham Lincoln, but the thing is, everybody kind of knows something about Abraham Lincoln. If you talked about the top 5 presidents or if you just ask people on the street, name a U.S. president, Abraham Lincoln is probably going to be one that is always named. Him and George Washington, definitely the top 2. John F. Kennedy, FDR would probably be up there somewhere. And then I don't know, throw in somebody else.
Democrats, man?
Oh, they're not all. Whoa! Abe's a Republican.
JFK and Roosevelt. I'm just teasing you, brother. Go.
But anyway, so he's a well-known president. So we kind of were thinking, what do you know about Abraham Lincoln? Not you, Russ, but the people who are watching. What do you know about Abraham Lincoln? So
right. Yeah, we wanted you guys to be part of the show bigger than ever this time. You always can bring in comments and questions and things like that. But there are so many. We could talk. We could do this show, History Nuts, for 6 months about Abraham Lincoln. I mean, there is so much information out there about Abe. He's definitely a hero of mine, one of the greatest human beings to ever live, for many different reasons. If you study him as a man and as a as a father and as a role model, but he is well, unless you ask some of those gray guys, but they sometimes think he's a villain. But even most of the folks in the South can acknowledge that Lincoln was a great man and a great president. So I'm rambling again here, but we want to stop talking so much, and we want you guys to chime in, give us some information. What do you know about Abraham Lincoln? It could be simple, very simple. It could be detailed. It could be funny. It could be sad. It could be serious. It can also give us some facts that you think that most people don't know about Lincoln. So we want you guys to join in. Tell us where you're watching from, and join in and give us some comments.
Like and hit the share button really quick, and all that. I'll start though. Abraham Lincoln was born in Kentucky.
That's right. He was one of Kentucky's favorite sons. He's one of three states that want to claim him. Indiana and definitely Illinois want to claim him too. But
and about every county in Kentucky, if they can lay a claim on Lincoln of some sort, they will.
Right. Like he was there. He Lincoln stopped here and had a sandwich. There's a plaque.
Exactly. Yep.
Absolutely. So Vicky says that she's kin to him. Kevin Jones and Jamie Jolly are watching. Carol's watching. Lori says, good evening, Jameson and Russ. Cheryl's watching. Jamie, Mary, and Ada's watching there. Amy says she's here tonight ready to learn. So we need your help. We don't know jack about Lincoln, so I hope you do. but yeah, we know about Lincoln. We're ready if you guys don't chime in. So I see Don. He's watching there in Arkansas. Don, let us know, buddy, what you know about Lincoln. Give us a fact about Lincoln. I see Dana Dean, the great Dana Dean in North Carolina, but originally from Bloom Carroll High School there in Central Kentucky, the Bulldogs. Hardest hitting football team in history, by the way. Blaine's watching. He's up in Bourbon County. There's Cheryl. I see Mark. I see Les. Lori says, there we go, our first comment. Lori's out in California, and she says that his wife was insane. I think that you could not know anything about Lincoln. No, he had a wife, and no, oh man, I'm going to get in trouble. So,
don't go that way.
Yes, Mary Todd Lincoln definitely went insane. She spent some time in an asylum there after Lincoln's assassination, didn't she?
Yes, and do you know what asylum that was?
She wasn't in Eastern State, was she?
I don't think so. No, I was thinking it may be, but I don't know for sure. I was hoping you would know for sure. But what you mean? You can't really. Go ahead.
Yeah, in Illinois, I think she was, but don't quote me on that one. But
it was an Eastern State. But the thing is, like that's a big thing to go about. Start off with her being a controversial topic there. But I mean, her kids died young. Her husband was assassinated. And you can't blame her. I mean,
right?
You can't.
Yeah, she definitely sacrificed a whole lot for him, or in her life, kind of thing. So only one son lived to adulthood. Robert Todd Lincoln. So,
and isn't he the one who had her, admitted to the sane asylum? I think he was.
Yes. So it's a sad story. Sad story, that's for sure. And she's from Lexington.
She's from Lexington, yeah.
Businessman, and the home is one that you can visit. Today after they moved out of there, and the house turned into a brothel. But that's another story. But Yeah, Josh Sutherland says that his mom died on white snake poisoning, I believe, and he was a lawyer in Illinois too. You know about that, or Jameson? What Josh said there?
Well, his mom died pretty young. When he was pretty young.
9 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, 9. I don't know exactly the cause, but I mean
milk poisoning.
Milk poisoning.
Milk poisoning. Yeah. And it was they actually had an outbreak of it, and they had another outbreak later on in their life. But you know, he did his father Thomas did get remarried, and you know, he did call his stepmother mother, but it was definitely a traumatic time in his life. There's a very famous Lincoln quote, since you're talking about his mom. It's a very famous Lincoln quote that he said that all that I am, I owe to my angel mother. So that's a awesome quote right there. That's on lots of Mother's Day cards and coffee mugs and things like that. But I think that's an awesome quote. Let's see here. Teresa says she's watching from Staten, Oregon, and Teresa Anderson's watching. Let's see here. Mary Eldridge says that he's my fourth cousin 5 times removed. Fourth cousin 5 times removed. What does that mean, Jameson? If they're fourth cousins,
that means they're related.
Yeah, but where's their like ancestor? If they're fourth cousins 5 times removed.
Man, that's your ballpark. Fourth cousin, so maybe a grandparent, maybe.
Well, it means that one of Abraham Lincoln's third great grandfathers or mothers. Well, yeah, I guess it would be the same, both. One of Abraham Lincoln's third great grandparents is Mary's 8th great grandparents.
Okay.
Positive.
So, gotcha.
On that one. So yeah, so you got to go back a little bit there too. So that's pretty cool to find that connection there for sure. Melanie's watching, Debona's watching, Vicky's watching. Vicky says that I'm kin to Abraham Lincoln through his grandma's mama's side of the family, and she lives in Tennessee. So she's related to Nancy Hanks.
Go ahead. Oh, there you go. Nancy who?
Nancy Hanks.
Nancy Hanks. Okay.
Yeah. Not Tom Hanks, but there is a connection. Yeah, they are related to the family there, and Nancy. They say Nancy actually was working at a tavern there in Bean Station, which we did a video on there at one time. So let's see. Don said something about despise. Oh, is that despise or the spies? He's from Arkansas, so he might despise Abraham Lincoln, kind of thing. But you want to read some of those comments, Jameson? Let me shut up for a minute.
Man, I can't read none of the comments. They're on your end.
Oh, you can't see them. My bad.
No.
Sorry. I didn't realize that. So, but Teresa says that she's a Barry Shipley Mitchell descendancy. And she's got more there, but I'm going to back up there for a second. She said that she's a Barry, Mitchell, and Shipley descendancy. The Barrys were, Francis Barry was the husband of Nancy's mother's sister. So when Nancy Hanks, Lincoln's mother, passed away, they went to go, Nancy and her mother went to go live with Nancy's mother's sister, whose husband was Francis Barry, there in Kentucky, and inevitably find them too. The Shipleys are connected to that. I think that Nancy had a first cousin that was a Shipley that was captured by Indians for a time, and I've said the word, captured by Native Americans for a time. So,
question though, I have a question for you. So when you say, and this is just a question that I have, because you often hear of somebody saying that they're related to somebody or so many times removed. So that means they just have a distant relative in common. Is that the general term?
The removed thing is when we find it's generational. So I'm going to explain this, but people aren't going to understand. The best way to look at it is a chart. when two people are related and they're far apart in history, you have to, the person that's closest to the like ancestor is the one that determines whether they're first, second, third, fourth cousins. So
Gotcha.
if the like ancestor is, say, the third great grandparent, that would make you add one, that would make you fourth cousins. And then the difference between generations is the times removed. So if you have 4 generations, it would be 4 times removed.
Yeah.
You know? So like her, she was what she say 5 times removed. She was fourth cousins 5 times removed. So we know that we went by Abraham Lincoln's third great grandparents, so that makes them fourth cousins, and then they were 5 times removed. So 5 plus the third great grandparents makes her 8th great grandparents. So I'm sure you definitely got that, didn't you?
It made sense to me. That's good, man.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. Just like Colonel Harlan Sanders, algebra is what got me, kind of thing. So I'm a history guy, not a math guy so much. But she said no mental hospitals have a whole different purpose from that time period. Women were committed for having PMS. She's right. We talked about that on one show, didn't we?
Yeah. The Eastern States there in Lexington. So
remember that time you were wanting to have your wife institutionalized? I think there when it just
happened
to be a little bit of PMS. Remember you told me that story?
I've never said that. No.
Are you sure? So don't deny it here just because other people are watching. But just kidding. Yeah, that's true. Whether it could have been PTSD and things like that. There's a lot of times people got institutionalized, unfortunately. You can check out, I don't know what episode that is, but we talked about that, didn't we?
Yep. We do got some people. My Aunt Jen is watching. Hello, Aunt Jen. We got Karen, Linda, and Brenda K. Mosley Sipes, I think, is watching. So let us know what you know about Abraham Lincoln. Yeah,
we need some more comments here. Lori said, sorry, that's the first thing she thought of was Mary being insane. She probably likes those. She probably likes M. Night Shyamalan movies and Stephen King stuff. I don't know her. I don't know if she does or not. But Mary says that her great grandparents. I think she's commenting on that Lincoln's being the 4th great grandparents. I see Louise and Sally's watching. Margaret's watching. Mary says that Teresa, you're probably right. The poor woman, she went through hell. Absolutely. Can you imagine? I mean, let's pause on that just a second. We read stuff like that. Yes, Lincoln was assassinated. Yes, 2 of her children died at young ages. Her son was fighting in the Civil War. Besides the fact of half of the United States completely despised them and hated them with a passion, and maybe more than half, but it's more than just a little phrase in a history book, isn't it?
It is, definitely, yeah. It's traumatic. I mean, it's more than just it's more than just a phrase. It affected them tremendously. I mean, just think to be her in that situation that the whole country just despises, or not the whole country, half of it despises you. The loneliness and the depression that she probably had to endure just while all that was going on. Pretty rough.
Tremendous stress. I know you've seen the photographs of Lincoln, in the beginning and in the at the beginning of his presidency and at the end of his presidency, right before he died. It's unbelievable. I mean, all presidents age. You see their hair change color and things, but it is absolutely unbelievable the weight that was on that man's shoulders, trying to keep us united. Don said, Russ, you thought that he said the spies and Jameson said the spies. So, right. So once again, Don heard you say you despised Abraham Lincoln. Is what he heard you say. So you want to clear that up, Jameson? Or
I do not despise. I do not despise. I despise the spies.
You despise the spies. Gotcha. Teresa says Richard Berry and Rachel Shipley,
Mhm.
Robert Mitchell and Naomi Shipley are her 5-time great-grandparents. So there you go.
Mhm. That's the connection.
There
Yeah.
you go. That's pretty cool, Teresa. I'm not related to any of that. All my people, I always say my family tree is a dumpster of white trash, but that's not true. Not true. I joke to my ancestors that I'm not, we got some great folks in my tree. But Yolanda's watching, Pauline's watching. Rachel, Teresa says Rachel and Naomi are the aunts. Mary says common ancestors are great-great-great-grandparents. Abraham was 5 generations closer to common ancestors since 5 times removed. Yeah, absolutely. And we're a little behind in the comments, aren't we? Lori asks, what year was Abe born and died? Do you know that answer?
I do know that answer. So he was born in 1809.
Yep. And
Yep.
he died?
Yep.
When did he die?
1865. 1865.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I believe it was about a month or so after Lee surrendered at Appomattox, I think. Horrible. Horrific.
yeah.
Jeff's watching, Dean's watching, Melissa's watching, Elsie, Alex. What's up, Alex? See you there, buddy. You're supposed to be at work, aren't you? But no, not this time of night. Everybody stayed home today, didn't they?
It is cold. Yeah. We can't go to school in this. We got to work online.
Right. That's definitely a reason why. If you guys don't know, here in Kentucky is under about most of our trees and stuff got a good, about 3/4 of an inch of ice on them. So
Yeah.
Beautiful. Gina Molinari says that her mom has a locket with Abraham Lincoln on it. It was handed down through her mom's side of the family. I just don't know where it is that he fits into her family.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that'd be pretty neat. A pretty neat heirloom. Yeah.
I wonder, it could be just something they had, but it also could be some kind of connection there. There's so many stories like that in our family. We don't know where stuff comes from and things. So talk to your grandma. Talk to your grandpa while you can, that's for sure. Mary says 1809 to 1865. Absolutely. And let's see, Genesis is watching. Thanks, Mary. Lori says that it's 75 degrees in Palm Springs.
Wow.
Yeah, but what she doesn't understand is I lived for a year out about 45 minutes from Palm Springs, and for most of the year it's about 137 degrees out there. So I'll take the cold every now and then, right? So Don says that Lincoln got a lot of credit he didn't deserve and much blame he neither deserved. Such is the way with the president. What do you think about that, Jameson?
That is probably a very true comment about probably all presidents, really, when you think about
Yeah.
get a lot more blame and from too much credit, or either not enough credit and too much blame, or I always or that's what I was
Obama got the economy booming. Trump got the economy booming.
Yeah, who did it? Wow. I always heard.
I've always said the president's not a wizard.
I always heard that you cannot, you can't even remotely judge a president's term in office until like 10 years after they're gone, or not like 10 years after they've left office.
Sure.
So yeah, I that's kind of the that's not that everybody tells me that, but that's just kind of one of the things I heard once. I was like, that makes a lot more sense than people want it to. But
Sue brought up a real interesting topic. She says Lincoln is the only president who obtained a patent. Did either of you know that? I didn't.
Whoa, no, I did not know that.
Sue, now you're going to have to give us the answer.
Yeah, what patent?
What that is. I don't know if any of you people watching that knew that at all, but I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Lori said only 120 degrees, but yeah. Well, I tell you what, that's Death Valley for a reason is out there. But yeah, and we see Harold's watching and Jim's watching. Folks, we're running out of comments. What's up, Jay? The head coach of the mighty Midway University Eagles track team. They had a very successful track meet this past weekend, didn't you, Jay? Don't think we're not keeping an eye on that. You got some heck of a squad he's building up there in Midway. So, yeah, man. Vicki Abel says that her great grandma's dad was Jacob Morrow, and his dad was James Hiram Morrow, and his mother was J. Bates Morrow, and her mom was Mary Catherine Bates. Her mom was Mary Lincoln Clark, and her mom was Rebecca Lincoln, the girl of Samuel Lincoln, and she got that off of Ancestry.com. That's amazing. So what she's doing there is giving her lineage to Lincoln.
Yeah.
What's your lineage to Lincoln, Jameson?
I don't think there is one. Not that I know of. Nope. No connection.
Do you have any connections to any presidents?
Not that I know of, actually. I mean, unless it was, you have to be like a, removed sort of a situation there that I don't have any clue about.
Well, it sounds like you need to have someone to your family tree. It sounds like to me.
If only I knew somebody who.
We know some people that can handle that for you. We've got a team of individuals that can do that for you. Let's see here. Mary says on Google search, May 22nd, 1849, Abraham Lincoln received patent number 6469 on a device to lift boats over shoals, an invention which was never manufactured. However, it was eventually made him the only U.S. president to have a patent.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Huh. That is
1849. Yeah, that's the time. He was a lawyer at that time. I think he had his law office there and right there in Springfield, right across from the Capitol there during that time. So interesting.
So he goes from Kentucky to. Oh, we want to take a quick break. Let's take a quick break. Are you there, Russ?
Okay. Yeah, we'll take a quick break. Stay with us, guys. We'll be here. Just for a couple of minutes. Check out this cool video right there of the Kentucky History Podcast. Meet us on the other side. Stay with us there. We've got a lot of comments coming in here, so let's roll with it.
Welcome, everybody, to the Land Between the Meadows Kentucky History Podcast Patreon page. First thing I want to say is thank you for stopping by and checking out our page. Even if you decide not to become a patron, thank you for being a listener and your continued support. Let me go over some thoughts on what we want to get out of our Patreon page. Patreon is a great way for you to directly support creator content like what we do on the Kentucky History Podcast and the Kentucky History Channel. We want to provide you with the best product we can produce and more. Better equipment, software, more research by us, anything to make our content better. To make things as easy as possible, we're just going to have one tier of support. And here's what you can get. For $5 a month, you will get early access to Kentucky History Channel videos and Kentucky History Podcast episodes. You will get each episode 24 hours before it is published to the public, sometimes more than that. Basically, whenever it's complete and out of editing, it will be uploaded. So it could be 24 hours, it could be a week. You will also get some behind the scenes footage and recordings. Oftentimes we hit record before we start the episode, and there's always some interesting dialogue that goes on that we're sure you will enjoy. You will get full recordings. When we record, sometimes we record for long periods, and through editing we divide it up into multiple episodes. So you get the entire recording. Also ad-free content. We don't have much ads anyway, but by being a patron we can guarantee no ads. You will also be recognized as a supporter during episodes and at the end credits of videos on YouTube. Finally, for being a supporter, you will get an extra history from us. We're going outside of Kentucky, and once a month, we will put out an episode about other history topics, U.S. history, Native American history, and much more. With all that being said, no one is obligated to be a patron. We are still going to put out Kentucky history content. If you're a fan of what we're doing and you want us to grow, Patreon may be for you. Each time we get a new patron, we push harder to create better content. Thank you so much for your support if you're already a patron. It really means a lot to us, and we hope we don't let you down. If you decide to become a patron, thank you. We will make your contribution worth it.
That was great stuff, man. Great stuff there. Kentucky History Podcast, something that I definitely partake in myself a whole lot. Do you ever watch Family Tree Nuts videos, Jameson?
I do, man. They come out just about daily, don't they?
Almost daily. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thanks for sticking with us, folks. Check out. Make sure you guys check. Oh, before it's a good time to bring that up. Make sure you guys check out Family Tree Nuts and Kentucky History Podcast's YouTube channels. Subscribe on there, and you'll get to see all our videos that we do all the time. Now, we put it on Facebook, but it's gone after that. So make sure you check that out. You guys are growing, aren't you, Jameson?
We are. We're getting there. We're trying to catch up to you there, Russ, with the big 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, man, we had a big thing there. That's a big thing we hit there, and that's going to allow us to do so much more. To get once you hit 1,000, your videos get shown a whole lot more. A lot of people can see them out there. So appreciate the people that helped us out with that. I don't know if this was Mary Grace or Amanda, because it says it's coming from Family Tree Nuts account, but she said her favorite story of Mr. Lincoln was when he was an attorney defending a 70-year-old old woman who had clearly murdered her husband, hit him in the head with firewood. She was done being beat by her husband. Though Lincoln was doing all he could clearly, there was going to be a guilty verdict, and the judge was granted Lincoln a brief recess. During the recess, Melissa and Lincoln went to the front door. Went to the first floor conference room, and Melissa requested a drink of water. Lincoln opened a nearby window and advised his client there was good water in Tennessee. Lincoln went back to the courtroom alone.
That is great. Oh, there you go. Honest Abe, man.
You know, right. Honest Abe. Sounds a little shady right there, doesn't it? Kind of thing. So I don't know if anybody's going to go after the 70-year-old woman. They didn't know about dementia back then, I guess, kind of thing. So, but she said she was tired of getting beat by him, so he needed to feel like a reckon. So, but Lori said, did Lincoln build a house that still exists for his family during his presidency?
Really?
Well, she's asking the question. I'm not aware of him building the house, but I'm aware of the house that they lived at for about 15 years or so while he was a lawyer in Springfield and a state representative, and won the presidency right there. We've done a video there at that house. You can catch that on our YouTube. Sue says he was aboard a steamboat that ran aground on low shoals. He designed a method to keep the vessels afloat by using empty metal air containers. Patent number 6469 in 1849. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I wonder why
cool.
he didn't come up with that. So Sue also said that she can do your family tree.
Oh, okay.
So, there you go. Let's see here. So Lori says, "Congrats, Russ. Thanks, appreciate that so much. We need some. We need some comments, folks. Let us know what you know about Lincoln. We've had some folks chime in, but let us know where you're watching at and what you know about Lincoln. Tell us some stuff what are some things that you know about Lincoln, Jameson? Something interesting.
Well, something interesting. Well, so I mean, the Kentucky connection is really cool. You know, he was born in Springfield or Washington County. I mean, not necessarily Springfield, the town, but then he moved to Indiana, correct? And then he went to Illinois. You know what county he was in Indiana?
Spencer.
Huh?
Was it Spencer?
No, Perry.
Okay.
Which
it's
I would
in southern Indiana.
Yep. And then on to Illinois, where he pretty much spent the majority of his life. Definitely his adult life.
I think he was 21 when they moved to Illinois.
Mm-hmm. And then one interesting thing that I always thought was very cool about it. You got a comment there? You're giving a smile.
Yeah. Mary says, how many times was his body moved after he died?
Ooh.
Well,
I mean,
it depends on what you.
I mean, they moved him all. I mean, he went on a big tour of. I mean, like a funeral procession, if you want to say that, all over the place.
444 towns, I think it was.
Whoa.
Yeah. 9 states, maybe.
Count all those? Are we counting those?
Are we counting? Yeah, 444 close to that. But And he laid in state for, there in Illinois, before they moved him to a temporary tomb at the cemetery there, and then they moved him to a more permanent tomb for while they were building the monument, his tomb there. And then they finally, of course, moved him into the tomb. And then there was the situation where his body was almost stolen. I don't know if you know about that, but they almost stole his body. And then eventually Robert Todd Lincoln, his son, had to move. He's 10 feet below the floor now, under the original monument there. So how many is that?
That's 4. I mean, if you're just talking about those times. So 4. That's quite a bit.
Yeah. That's a good trivia question. If you know the answer, we'd love to hear it, Mary. That's kind of thing. I know we moved him a bunch, but Lori asked the question, did Abe's family ever get attacked by Indians?
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. What were we talking about? Yeah. That was, I mean, his dad's grandfather was killed, right? Or was it so they were out in the field, right? His dad or his grandpa got shot. His dad was next to his grandpa, and then the Native American was coming to hatchet him, and then his uncle shoot the Native American. Am I correct on that? Yeah. I mean, Mordecai, right?
Yeah, Mordecai, his uncle Mordecai. Yeah. Captain Abraham Lincoln, was in, of course, the Revolutionary War, and then I think it was in 1782 the family went through the Cumberland Gap and settled in Casey County, 1784, right in 1782, and then 1784 they moved outside of modern day Louisville, and that's when Captain Abraham Lincoln, Mordecai, Josiah, and Thomas, the three sons, they were out there working in the field. He shot them. Little Thomas ran over to his daddy, and the Native American was literally about to kill him, and Mordecai dropped him. So the story there is that if Mordecai misses, we don't have Abraham Lincoln, the father of Abe.
Yeah.
Pretty is the man.
pretty intense situation, but JoLynn Pike here says she's watching from Harrodsburg, Kentucky, and she is thinking of asking old Family Tree Nuts to do some research for her.
We can sure help you. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Tomorrow morning, it's my first stop of the day tomorrow. I'll be at Mordecai's house. His house is still standing. I think it was built in 1792 or so. I'll be there tomorrow, so watch out for that. So in the ice.
In the ice.
All righty.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say another interesting story that I know of, Abe, but if you got a comment there, we can go with it instead. I can hold off.
Michael says that Lincoln Memorial University has many of his belongings there in Harrogate, Tennessee, or Harrogate.
That's in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, it's just on the south side of the Cumberland Gap right there.
Yep.
And story, I think, with Lincoln Memorial, it's a small university there, but it was named because there were so many loyal Tennesseans to the Union. That's kind of shocking to a lot of people. I forget the number. It was like 300,000 or so Tennesseans fought for the Union.
Wow. That's pretty bad, isn't it? A lot.
Don't quote me on that number right there, but I think that's pretty close. And Mary says that Abraham Lincoln's coffin has been moved 17 times. Mary, this is not a trivia question. This is not a trivia night for us. Go ahead and give us the answer when you tell us kind of thing. 17 times, mostly to numerous reconstructions of the Lincoln tomb and fears for his safety of the president's remains. The coffin itself has been opened 5 times: December 21st, 1865. September 19th, 1871, October the 9th, 1874, April the 14th, 1887, and September the 26th, 1901.
Wow.
I have heard that the last time they opened it, I think there was a small boy. I think that was a son of one of the workers that was doing the work, and he was the last person to see the body of Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
36 years after he died.
Wow. 36 years.
You
Whew.
You know they do that?
Huh?
If you exhume a body, you're supposed to examine the body. Do you know that?
If you do what?
If you
If you
exhume a
see
body,
yeah, you're supposed to
somebody,
examine it.
preferably in the family or a friend, is supposed to view the body.
Really? I mean, is that kind of like a
I'm not sure why.
blast sale kind of thing, or just a legal
Chimes
thing?
in, but my wife's people are from Eastern Kentucky, and they flooded the valley to put in Cave Run Lake. So before that they moved the cemetery to higher ground, and my
Mhm.
wife's grandfather had to check out the coffins of his parents. They had to open it up, I guess, to make sure you've got the right people, make sure they've got what clothing they had on when they died.
So it's a legal thing. I mean, it's a legal issue. Is that?
I don't know.
Or I don't know. Well,
I don't know, but I sure wouldn't want to do that. So
yeah.
But, so here's Sue. She thinks it's trivia night again, but she says, "Do you know who saved Lincoln's son, Robert Todd, when he was accidentally pushed onto the tracks of a train?"
No. Who saved Lincoln's son?
Not trivia night. It's not trivia. Not quiz, Russell Jameson. How many teeth did Abraham Lincoln miss? I think it's that. I don't know. Help us out, Sue.
No, that's interesting.
Sandy says he was president. He was a president that had to lead our nation during a horrible civil war. He sure had a lot to deal with, along with family tragedies. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing I was gonna bring up. So back when we talked about William Henry Harrison last week. So during that election, it was a very, we talk about like, voter intimidation and stuff now, but like back then, I mean, there were literally people out there that would, fight you if you were going to vote a certain way. But he actually confronted some, I guess if you want to call them voter thugs in Illinois, and backed them down. Like he was ready to throw hands and backed them down, and they did not. That's where he kind of the Honest Abe nickname began.
I think he grabbed the guy by the back of his neck and the seat of his britches and chucked him. That is what happened. Yeah, that's
So
cool.
That's pretty good, pretty cool.
He was trying to stop the steal.
Yeah.
You heard that hashtag? But moving on. Don says he's connected to Lincoln by time frame, overshadowed by the assassination. What a great tragedy occurred shortly following Lincoln. What great tragedy occurred shortly following Lincoln's assassination? I guess we misunderstood here. We're supposed to tell us the stories that we can read and let people know these stories. We know a lot about this.
A great tragedy after he was killed. A great tragedy after he was killed. I don't know. I mean,
so something happened that was overshadowed by this assassination. I'm curious to know what that would be.
Okay, something happened that was overshadowed. Okay.
Yeah. I had to read it again to make sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
I do not know either. So another cool. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say another cool connection to Kentucky is that Abraham Lincoln's one of his political idols, somebody he really looked up to, was Henry Clay, which is a big Kentuckian. So, and he was actually this is really interesting. I read this a while back. So the Whig Party was beginning to fall apart, and the American Party, or the Know Nothing Party, was starting to form up and was getting a lot of following and so forth. And Abraham Lincoln was very close to joining the Know Nothing Party until some riots started breaking out. There's a lot of kind of civil unrest, if you want to call it that. and he did not. He ended up not joining the Know Nothing Party, and then joined the Republican Party. So that was a pretty pretty kind of interesting that the tide kind of switched. But he was definitely a political man at the time. So
yeah, definitely could have change the course of history, couldn't it? And another thing that changed the course of history, and nobody's brought this up yet, but he almost drowned one day when he was a small boy there on Knob Creek, there, Kentucky. You know about Knob Creek, Jameson? Not the whiskey,
definitely.
not the bourbon. I know that's the first thing that came to your mind, but
yeah,
where he lived out there. And I'll be there tomorrow. We'll be at Knob Creek, but right there at the creek, he was jumping rocks and jumping on logs and things, slipped off, and rushing water was coming, and he almost drowned. And the buddy that he was with, Molahan, I think was his name. I can't remember exactly the fellow's name, but he ran ahead of him, stuck out a stick, and pulled him out of the creek there. So what if that happened? There's another example that at Abraham Lincoln. So Sue says that. Or Lori says that it's appalling how little that she knows about Abe Lincoln. This is great. Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're trying to see some things that you don't already know here. Sue said that it was Edwin Booth, John Wilkes Booth's brother, is the one that pulled Robert Todd Lincoln off of the railroad tracks.
Whoa! That is pretty crazy. That's a
you got to do the right thing no matter what, isn't it? So kind of thing.
That's a Harry Potter Voldemort wand connection there.
Who? Voldemort. I know
Harry Potter. Sorry, no one else got that one.
Who says that Lincoln never slept in the Lincoln bedroom? It was his personal office. That's pretty cool. Didn't know that either.
It is.
Pretty awesome. Don't know who this is. I think it might be Mary Grace. Says Dr. Samuel Mudd, who inadvertently helped Booth and was imprisoned at the dungeon in Fort Jefferson, the Dry Tortugas, was instrumental in helping stem the spread of yellow fever. Yeah. You know about that story about Dr. Samuel Mudd?
No, go ahead.
Dr. Samuel, you've heard that phrase, "My name is Mudd."
Oh, yeah.
Many say that comes from Dr. Samuel Mudd. John Wilkes Booth, he shot Lincoln, he jumped off the balcony, sic semper tyrannis, which means death always to tyrants, and broke his leg there on the stage and rode off. But they say that Dr. Samuel Mudd was the one that set his leg, was tried for the conspiracy, and went to prison. And while he was there, he really helped to stop the spread of yellow fever down there. And he was eventually pardoned and things, but definitely a sad situation. So, all right. Yeah, that is Mary Grace. So hey, chime in with some comments, folks, if we have any more there. One of the things that I had down there is that people don't know this a lot about it, that Abe was known to his buddies as being a lazy dude, being lazy. He didn't like hard work. He didn't like swinging that axe that we've seen doing. He liked his book.
He wanted to be a lawyer, sit at a desk, right?
He should have been born today, where he could, sit on a desk, make $100,000, and play video games all night long, like most folks want to do, right? Alrighty. Newsman Roger Mudd is related to him. Lori says, tell us our favorite stories. What's your favorite story about him, Jameson?
Well, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to pick, man. He's so connected to Kentucky. I mean, geez, a favorite story about Abraham Lincoln. The one about the Harrison, the voting booth one is pretty cool. That probably is my favorite one. Shoot, let me think on that. What's yours?
Well, one of my favorite stories is a lot of times people don't know that he was set to marry Mary Todd Lincoln, and he actually called it off. And I don't know why. I don't know if we know exactly the details, but he called off the wedding. Now, they were eventually married about a year and a half later, kind of thing. So that's an interesting story there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We started this off with his wife being crazy. Maybe he had she showed some signs of that in the beginning. I don't know, but the fact that they called it off and we're still married is pretty neat. I know that there was a fellow that was from Kentucky that he worked with there in Illinois, and he made some visits down around Midway and such. And that's where he got to meet her, because they had Mary Todd had their family had a summer home there between Midway and Frankfort. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I could get into some Kentucky. Abe was he very much wanted Kentucky as a Union state and the whole neutral part of it, and but then it's all the martial law. And it's really complicated, I guess. We don't have time to get into all that. But I mean, I guess if I had to pick anything, well, honestly, my favorite Abe story is going to be the one about his dad and and Mordecai and that. I mean, I think that is like really like just a out of a movie kind of a moment. But that probably is the biggest thing. I mean, that and that William Henry Harrison stories are probably or the voting booth story is probably the most intriguing to me, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people, and this is a whole nother show in itself, but there's a lot of people that believe that Lincoln's own party instigated the whole assassination to begin with. Many they believe that Lincoln was going to be too lenient on the South. He was going to allow them to keep a lot of their properties and not punish the South. And many people in the North wanted to punish the South, and so a lot of times they say that, unfortunately, by Lincoln's assassination, it put the South back another 30 years or so in recovery from what Lincoln wanted to do. So that's definitely one. Lori says, was Lincoln a wealthy man when he passed?
That's a good question. I don't think he really was he? I mean, I don't think he really.
Today's standards, but he
was no Vanderbilt or anything like that. And I know that's probably 20, 30 years later, but like he wasn't a super wealthy guy. No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a lawyer. Most of his wealth probably came from Mary Todd's side. Honestly, that you would, I mean, that I would kind of think
make money
of,
like you did, right, Jameson?
Oh yeah. all this teacher money I make.
Right. Well, hey, but I saw that Cadillac you're driving. But all righty.
Yeah.
That's all.
Wrap it up, man. That's all I got.
Yeah, without going into major details right there. If none of you other folks have anything, we'll wrap it up here. Well, we got one more. Mary Grace said that our American cousin at Ford's Theater was the production when Lincoln was shot, and Edwin Booth was truly an actor and brought that production back to the theater, even with all the stigma. The production was well received. So I guess he brought that back even after he was shot. Have you ever been to Ford's Theater?
Yeah, I have actually. We went on I think I was in 6th grade. We went to Washington D.C. and watched a play. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. You can walk around and you can see where it all happened. You can get pretty close to where he was sitting there. So it's a horrible thing. Lincoln's one of my favorites for sure. There was different times in our life where the more you learn about a man, he goes up and down, and if you like him or not like him. And it's hard to dislike Abe if you really know about Abe. If you're a strong, staunch supporter of the South and its mission of the time, it's hard to like him, but it's hard to dislike him as an individual. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Lori says, "Thanks so much. This was fun." Yeah, we're going to do it next week too. By the way, we got George.
Bring your George Washington things, because everybody knows about George, man.
Yeah, And if you haven't guessed this is a President's theme. Like, February is the President's Day. So what do you guys got going on there at Kentucky History Podcast?
Kentucky History Podcast. Well, so we got some more episodes coming up here this weekend. Talking about some Rockcastle history, pretty close to Madison County there.
Yeah.
The snow or the ice kind of messed up some of our recording schedules, so that kind of a bummer. But we still got some stuff coming out. We're going to get busy on some videos too that have kind of get deeper into some topics we've already talked about and that sort of stuff. Still got the weekly videos, of course, are going to come out of Kentucky people. So again, go subscribe to the YouTube, like the Facebook page. Any of that, we appreciate it all. So
yeah.
What about you? What's going on in Family Tree Nuts besides going to Abe's place?
Yeah, I mean, we got some of you might have seen that we had a video hit, an edited version of Daniel Boone's Missouri home. It's tomorrow. It's Jemima Boone, his daughter's grave, and then on Saturday and Sunday we have videos hit that. We have a video of Daniel Boone's grave in Missouri, and on Sundays, Daniel Boone's grave in Kentucky. He's got two graves.
There you go.
Which one's he in?
Kentucky.
All right. Kentucky. Boy, I've heard some heated stuff on both sides about that one. We don't know for sure. But tomorrow's Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and I planned on doing this for a while anyway. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see there's a tab there for Abraham Lincoln. And we've already done these videos exactly a year ago. I was there a year ago making these videos. But I'm going to go basically kind of reenact them. I'm going to go live though and show you some other sites and things that you don't see on there. It's going to be pretty much unscripted, I guess. But we're going to Mordecai's home that we spoke about earlier, and then we're going to Nancy Hanks's home, the mother of Abraham Lincoln. Then we're going to go to Abraham Lincoln's birthplace. There's a cabin inside a temple. Don't know if we're going to be able to get inside due to the weather and things. And then we're going to his home there on Knob Creek. So I'll be shooting at least 4 videos. If we have time, I'm going to go over to Harrodsburg and shoot the marriage cabin is inside a church there at Fort Herod. So look for 4 or 5 videos there. Yeah, Mary Grace is got all kinds of stuff going on out west. She's doing. Amanda is getting ready to start launching how-to videos for genealogy that'll be on our channel too. And
cool.
We've got, Sue is raring it up. She's got lots of projects that she's working on, especially family trees. And we're getting ready to bring on some teammates international. I'll leave that alone for now. But anyway, lots of stuff going on. So, but as you can tell, we're excited.
One last thing though, before we go. Oh, go ahead. What did you say? No, I was
going to ask you if you had anything else.
Oh, okay. So besides the Facebook and YouTube channels, I just let you know, Russ, I'm not a cat.
You're not a what?
I'm not a cat. Are you not in the Popular Times, man? Have you not seen the video of the lawyer who's? Man,
I live in another century, man.
You live in Russ's world.
Well, yeah.
There's a video. There's a video. You gotta go check it out. So, like, a lawyer was in a meeting with a judge and everything, and I guess his kid or his grandkid or somebody had put a filter on his computer. So he's in this video talking to the judge, and he's a cat. It's like a cat face, and I mean, a complete cat. And he sounds like he's a bit older, and he's like, I don't know what to do. We're trying to fix it, but I'm here. I'm not a cat.
Oh wow, that's funny.
You gotta go check it out.
I got it. I did see something in passing on that, but I got you. Not a cat. Anyway. I'm in that middle of that, generation. The younger folks know how to do all that stuff, and the older folks are completely lost. So Tim says, thanks for bringing us this history and making it educational and informative. Yeah, man, it's definitely a passion for sure.
Yeah.
But
And thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, everybody, and all that good stuff.
absolutely. Sherry says here in Camden, South Carolina, a Quaker cemetery is the grave of Mary Todd Lincoln's brother. Interestingly, her brother was a doctor for the Confederacy.
Wow. Yeah.
They were. I did know about that. They were divided, especially after the brother was. The thing keeps jerking around here. After the brother was instrumental in her committal to an asylum for a time. I do love watching Family Tree Nuts videos. I set my notifications in tune for when you guys go live as much as possible. Hey, appreciate that. Big time.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I forgot. That's a good thing to bring up here as we get out of here. The family was split.
Oh, yeah, so split. Yeah, that the Todd family was big time split, right?
Yeah. You think about that. The brother-in-law of Abraham was in the Confederacy. I think they have some more Confederate connections too. Yeah. So Lori says that she saw the cat video. She's 68 and she saw it. So I've never.
It's funny. You got to watch it.
I'll have to look that up here. So when I'm going to bed there. So, but I guess we'll sign off. You got anything else to say, Jameson?
That's it, man. I'm good. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, man. Next week is George Washington. Bring your interesting facts about George. Same kind of thing there. And make sure you share this video out. Check and subscribe to our pages there where you can see all of our stuff at any time, kind of thing. But I guess the video on the way out is the tomb of Abraham Lincoln. So if you've never got to see where Abe's buried, there's a neat little short video there. I think it's about 3 minutes long if you guys want to check that out. But we'll sign off for now, man. And remember, Family Tree Nuts. Let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.
Now he belongs to the ages. Hey everybody, this is Russ from Family Tree Nuts, and I'm in Springfield, Illinois at Oak Ridge Cemetery. And I'm at the tomb of President Abraham Lincoln. The tomb is also the final resting place of Abraham's wife, Mary Lincoln, and 3 of their sons, Edward, William, and Thomas. The monument has a rectangular base with a 117-foot obelisk on top. It has a semicircle receiving room on one side and a semicircle crypt on the other side. A bronze statue of Lincoln's head is on a pedestal in front of the entrance. Folks leave pennies and rub the nose. Marble and statues are all around inside the rotunda. The statues at the corner represent the infantry, the artillery, cavalry, and the Navy. The 4 types of military units in Lincoln's time. 37 stone shields go around the base, 1 for each state at the time, and connected by an unbreakable band. Inside, the walls have 16 marble pilasters, 1 for Lincoln and the 15 presidents that preceded him. And it also has bronze panels for each state. The hallway has bronze tablets with 4 of Lincoln's speeches. A red marble marker sits above his remains with 9 flags, including homes of his ancestors from Massachusetts, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, and a U.S. flag and a presidential flag. On the same day that Lincoln died, on April the 15th, 1865, the citizens of Springfield founded the National Lincoln Monument Association and started to raise funds for the tomb. Lincoln's body traveled by train and made stops in Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Harrisburg, Philadelphia, New York City, Albany, Buffalo, Cleveland, Columbus, Indianapolis, Michigan City, Chicago, and finally here to Springfield. The train also passed through 444 communities in 7 states. Lincoln lay in state for 1 day in the Illinois state capitol, and then moved to a receiving vault of the Oak Ridge Cemetery. And in December, he was moved to a temporary vault while the monument was being built. That vault is behind the monument over the hillside. In 1868, work began on the construction of this monument. And in 1871, Lincoln and his sons were moved to the crypt of the monument. In 1874, the memorial was complete and Abraham Lincoln was moved to the marble sarcophagus in the center of the burial room. At the request of Lincoln's son, Robert Todd Lincoln, his body was located 10 feet below the burial room. So, here we are at the tomb of President Abraham Lincoln, one of our greatest Americans. And hey, remember, family tree nuts, let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree. Like what you see? Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the little bell so you get notifications as to when we post new videos. And you can find out more about us and contact us at familytreenuts.org.